1,688. That's how many polling places were shut down in states where a documented history of voter discrimination in the 6 years after the Supreme Court gutted the Voter Rights Act. Let me say that one more time. Listen carefully. 1,688 doors, most of them in black and brown neighborhoods, quietly locked while everybody argued about everything else. I want you to hold that number in your thoughts as we continue, because we're going to come back to that. Okay, welcome to Control the Narrative. I'm Tanya McKenzie, your PR strategist and crisis communicator, LA County Commissioner, Gen X mom of 4 student athletes, and the woman who reads the receipts before she even reads the room. Listen, today I'm here to talk about Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, who died recently this weekend at 71. And before the clip chasers get excited, let me set the table, okay? Let me set the table. Because we're definitely about to get into this. This is a little this is crazy. This is a little crazy to me, but I want y'all to stick with me because I'm going to try to be as sensitive as I can and help you understand how public relations work and how my mind works. Okay? I'm not celebrating a death. I was raised better than that, just to be clear. And frankly, dancing on graves is in bad character and worse strategy. But I am also not mourning. Okay? Let me be 100% clear with you. I'm not. And here's what nobody wants to say out loud. Those are not your only 2 options. They're not. They're absolutely not. There's a third option. There's a third lane. It's called correcting the record. That is the lane I drive in. It's on my business card. It's on my website. It's everywhere. Public relations. How the public relates to you. Okay? Most people think it's about spin, but it's really about your relationship to the public. Because within hours of the announcement, the eulogy machine fired all the way up. I mean, from everywhere. One of the greatest senators, a determined leader, irreplaceable. And as a PR professional with 2 decades in this business, I know exactly what I'm watching. An obituary is the final press release. Okay? That's what it is. It's the last draft of a person's narrative. And if nobody shows up with receipts, the draft becomes the record permanently. Okay? Permanently. I want you to think back. I really want you to think back to some of the maybe funerals that you've been to. I mean, seriously, I want you to think back to funerals that meant something to you, to funerals that you cried at, to funerals that, you know, once you left them, you still felt something very emotional towards that person. And also, if you've had a lot of people pass away in your life, maybe you can think about a funeral that you went to maybe to support someone else, but that person didn't mean much to you. Okay. The words that were spoken, did they mean anything to you? But did you think about the life that left? I mean, those types of things are important. I want you to reflect on that for a sec as we continue down this path, because it's important that this is relatable to you because it needs to make sense, right? So today I'm showing up with receipts. That's really what I'm doing. Not a eulogy, not dancing on a grave. I'm showing up with receipts. Not rumors, not vibes, votes, quotes, and documented conduct. That is what I'm showing up with. So let's get to it. I wanted to make sure that you were able to follow this conversation. So feel free to follow my slides that I made just for you. So back to 1,688. Remember, I told you to hold on to that number. In 2013, the Supreme Court's Shelby County decision ripped the enforcement teeth out of the Voter Rights Act, the law our elders bled for on a bridge in Selma. Within years, states that used to need federal permission to change voting rules started closing polling places, purging rolls, and redrawing maps. Hello, 1,688 polling locations gone. Per the Leadership Conference's research, concentrated in the exact communities the law existed to protect. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Are you picking up what I'm putting down in regards to 1,688? I need you to hear me. Now, Lindsey Graham did not write that court decision, but when the damage was on the table and Congress had the repair kit in their hand, watch what he did. Watch what he did. Watch his actions. Because this is the most horrible reason we are not mourning. And it comes in two parts. All right? It comes in two parts, not just one. And here we go. Receipt 1, the Georgia phone call. November 2020, Georgia's Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, I believe. I might be pronouncing that wrong. Please excuse me. A Republican, not a Democrat, not an activist, a conservative Republican election official. He tells the press he got a phone call from Lindsey Graham, a senator from North Carolina, calling about Georgia's ballots. And according to Raffensperger, Graham asked whether Georgia had the power to toss out legally cast mail-in ballots in counties with higher rates of signature mismatches. Are you picking this up? Graham said that's not what he meant, but Raffensperger never walked it back. He was very honest about the phone call, okay? He was honest about the phone call. So you do the math with me. Which Georgia counties would get their mail-in ballots thrown out under that little, I don't know, thought experiment that Lindsey was proposing? Fulton, okay? DeKalb, Clayton, Metro Atlanta. The beating heart of Black political power in the South. The counties that had just delivered an historic election. Call it what it is, a sitting United States senator, per a Republican official's account, floating whether the votes of Black Georgia could be legally disappeared, vanished. If that call had worked, we would not be calling it a scandal. We would be calling it a coup with paperwork. And here's why this one sits at the top of the list. For me, and most people that look like me, everything Black America has ever done, everything that Black America has, every office held, every law changed, every dollar of public investment redirected, every ounce of leverage runs through that ballot. Okay? It's the one form of power they could never fully take back once we got it. Our people were beaten for it, jailed for it, murdered for it. So when a man reaches for your ballot to throw it away, he's not playing politics. He's reaching for the whole inheritance. And I mean everything that our ancestors have worked for, everything that our ancestors died for, eulogies that included the work that this man wanted to wipe out. That's a part of the receipt. And we don't get to just wipe that away because someone wants to write a nice, wonderful little eulogy for Senator Graham. Okay? We don't get to do that. It's not going to happen. We're not going to just forget it because now there are some people that are sad about him being on. Now, part 2. And this is what turns a bad phone call into a worldview, if you may. When Congress moved to restore the Voting Rights Act with a bill literally carrying John Lewis's name, the man whose skull was fractured marching for the right to vote. Are you listening to me? The man's skull was fractured marching for the right to vote. Lindsey Graham helped filibuster it. Yeah, he helped filibuster it. The Freedom to Vote Act. Twice the Senate had the chance to repair. They had they had the opportunity to fix it and make it right. Twice he stood up in the doorway, understood the sequence, understood the consequences. I don't know, 1,688. I can't kind of get that out of my head. 1,688 polling places closed. The repair bill arrives, he blocks it. Okay? So the opportunity to fix what was broken, he blocked it. Then he personally calls another state asking about tossing the ballot. That's not a man confused about voting rights. That's a man clear about what he's voting on or not voting on or keeping others from voting on it. Do you hear what I'm saying? Do you hear what I'm putting down? If you're still unclear, if you are still unclear about what I'm putting down, let me continue. So let's talk about how he spoke to us about us, because words are policy and preview. You understand that, right? October 2020. This is so frustrating. He's running for re-election against Jamie Harrison, a Black man in South Carolina. And on a Fox forum, Graham says, young African Americans can go anywhere in this state. You just need to be conservative, not liberal. So he's telling out of his mouth, he's saying, you're welcome to be here and be free and be American as long as you're conservative, not liberal. I want you to sit with that. All right. In the state that fired the first shots of the Civil War, a sitting senator said Black people's freedom of movement comes with political dress code. Are you kidding me? Make it make sense. Belonging with conditions attached. How does that even work from a senator? It's okay for you to roam South Carolina free as long as you're conservative. But if you decide to be liberal, watch your back. That's what I heard. That's what I heard. That's how I interpreted the words that he said. Okay. Safety as a reward for compliance. This is not a gaffe. This is a philosophy escaping through his mouth. He said exactly what so many feel. Now, listen, I love the truth. I think the truth is a wonderful thing. Tell it. Let us know how you really feel. But here's the thing, he did. So eulogizing him, I can't. Okay? July 2019, the President of the United States tells 4 congresswomen of color, 3 of them born in America, to go back to wherever the hell they came from. The whole country recognized that language. Our grandparents heard it at lunch counters, at cafe counters, at gas stations, at water fountains. Lindsey Graham's response, he went on a national television show and called those women a bunch of communists who hate the country. I love how we can all be American and we can all be united as long as we agree. But the minute we don't agree or we think things should go a different way, we're communists who hate the country. He didn't condemn that attack. He catered it. He catered to it. He elevated it. He repeated it. He took the oldest slur in the American playbook, you don't belong here, and dressed it up in its Sunday's best. Okay? Being in Congress, see, I think people forget, even though we're in a completely weird time in this country, leadership to many of us still holds a certain expectation. You rise above the bottom feeders. And unfortunately, we have a lot of people in leadership currently that are acting like bottom feeders. And instead of leadership, especially those that have been elected by their communities, by their state, by their region, they decide to play in the mud with bottom feeders. We expect better from leadership. And at no point did he ever step up for Americans that don't look like him. And if you think I'm cherry picking, let's run the timeline real quick. So let's go 2010. Let me make sure. Yeah, 2010. He describes immigrant mothers as coming to America to drop off babies. I mean, I can find humor in some of this because I'm like, this dude is out of pocket. But he literally said, immigrant mothers coming to America to drop off babies. Human beings described like cargo. In 2012, he tells the Washington Post, and I quote, we're not generating enough angry white guys to stay in business for the long term. So this white replacement theory is starting to catch on, and he's playing right into it. Well, I don't even think he's playing right into it. Like, he really feels this way. And he's just being very honest about how he feels. Okay? His words, his diagnosis of exactly whose party it is, right? And he kept right on serving it up. 2015, he defends the Confederate flag flying in South Carolina at the State House as part of who South Carolina is. I mean, there's plenty of folks out there that also agree with that, right? It is. So he just said what many of people that look like him and think like him won't verbalize. So kudos to him for that. But seriously, it took 9 Black worshiping murderers at Mother Emanuel. Remember that? Mother Emanuel in Bible study? For him to change his position. 9 Black people murdered at Mother Emanuel. They were just worshiping. They weren't bothering anybody. They weren't committing any crimes. They weren't immigrants dropping off babies. They were worshiping in Bible study. And then he decided to change his vernacular. Okay. In 2022, after voting to confirm our amazing Ketanji Brown Jackson to the DC Circuit just 1 year earlier, he flips, delivers some of the nastiest questioning of her Supreme Court hearings, and votes no. Same woman, same resume, different stakes. And through it all, a consistent no on statehood for Washington, D.C. 700,000 Americans, nearly half of them Black, taxed with no vote in Congress. Do you hear me? He was fine with that before. He was fine with that arithmetic before. One moment, it was a mistake. 2 is a bad week. But with him, it's a pattern held across 3 decades. This man has done everything in his power to make sure that Black people, no matter where they are, did not have the opportunity to vote or exercise their rights as an American. He worked hard with legislation, with his votes, with his criticism to make sure that Black people felt like we're lucky if we get the opportunity to exercise our rights as an American. So, why does this even matter beyond one man's record? 3 reasons. Hold on, I'm a little behind on the slides. Want to make sure y'all get all of them. But 3 reasons, okay? And I want you to write these down. Power. When voting protections die and the fix gets filibustered, Black political power doesn't shrink by accident. Let me say that one more time. Listen, when voting protections die and the fix gets filibustered, which he's very good at, Black political power does not shrink by accident. It's very much on purpose. And every issue we care about, schools, policing, healthcare, housing, it shrinks with it. Okay? Belonging. They don't, I'm on him, does not want us feeling like we are belonging in this country. When a senator says you can move freely if you hold the right political views and calls women of color communists for holding their own views, citizenship becomes conditional. He's saying your citizenship is great and you can exercise all the things as long as you believe what I believe, as long as you believe the things that advance my people, as long as you believe the things that hold your people back. Like, I want you to be with me, and then you can roam freely around South Carolina and the rest of this country. That's his view. That's his vote. That's his movement throughout his legislation. Okay? Conditional citizenship is not citizenship. It's a lease. Literally a memory. This is the PR piece. When the tributes erase the harm becomes deniable, and deniable harm gets repeated. We don't have the leisure of denying what has already been put out there. Legacy laundering is not just disrespectful to the people who lived it. It is instructions for the next guy. I would even ask you another question. Have you ever gone to the funeral of someone you didn't like? Now, listen, I've been asked to monitor the door to make sure that someone didn't get in of the person that had passed that didn't like them in real life. Because, people show up to funerals and they're very performative. Some people may not have known that person. Some people may not have liked that person, but they will definitely use the moment to be theatrical and grieve with the other people. I don't know why anyone would do that, but it happens. So I was advised, if you know somebody's trying to come in here that didn't like that person and they didn't get along, make sure you keep them out. The fact that that happens is why I'm having this conversation. We're not going to sit here and pretend we're all mourning someone who didn't like us. So for those out there that are acting like they're just so broken up, they're being performative. Like, let's keep it a buck. Okay? Now, because I do strategy, not spin, here's the part of a lesser commentator. I'm not going to commentate on it. I just want you to understand where I'm coming from. The record that Senator Graham left is not monolithic. In 2013, he co-authored the Gang of Eight immigration reform. Real political risk in his party. Okay, I understand that. After Charleston, he backed taking the flag down. He voted to confirm Sonia Sotomayor. We love her. He voted to confirm Elena Keegan and Loretta Lynch when plenty of his colleagues would not have. Right? Receipts, all of them. I tell you this for two reasons. First, credibility is currency. And if I hide his good days, you get to dismiss my whole argument. Second, and hear me on this, the complexity does not soften the pattern. It sharpens it because it proves he knew better. He could see us when it was convenient. A man who knows better and keeps choosing the pattern is not confused. He's committed. He is committed to his agenda. He's not committed to what's right. He's not committed to the people. He is committed to his political agenda, and that is it. So he's not committed to humanity. He's not committed to Christianity. He's committed to his political goals. Here's your takeaway, controllers, because this show is never about them. It's about you. You are writing your obituary right now, right? Every vote, every meeting, every caption, every time you stay silent when it costs you nothing to speak. The final press release is being drafted in real time, and the author is your record, not your intentions. Lindsey Graham spent this weekend being rewritten by people with microphones and keyboards and phones and platforms. The only reason we can push back is that somebody kept receipts. So keep your own. Keep your receipts. Continue to make more receipts of you doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Everything you do is a part of your legacy and your receipts. So keep yours. On the powerful and on yourself, keep all the receipts. Legacy laundering only works on people who don't document it. Sometimes we have to remind people who we are and what we stand for. We do. They don't always remember. So it's our job to continue to stand on business and let people know who we are. For Lindsey, his rest is between him and God. His record is between him and us. Okay? And the record says what it says. Don't mourn, don't celebrate, document. If this episode gave you language for what you were already feeling, share it with somebody else who needs it. And subscribe to Control the Narrative on Substack. I'm going to have a written version with an even deeper dive. Okay? And I think I'll have the sources for some of this stuff linked in there also. I'm still working on it. But Tanya is my name, and controlling the narrative is my game. And I would love to know in the comments what you remember Lindsey Graham for and what you would like to be remembered for. I'd love to hear it in your comments.